Hello, thanks very much for joining me. This is the second fly in the series from the Hanak International on the River Dee from the veterans team, and this is my fly. It's a point fly. As you can see, it's got a very slim profile and quite a heavy bead. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, in the vise then we have a Hanak 470 barbless hook at size 14. The more observant amongst you will notice that the fly was tied on a Hanak H450 barbless hook, and that's the hook I prefer, but I'm completely out of them hooks, so I'm actually using the 470 as a substitute, if you like. So first thing I'm going to do is cast on, sorry, I should have mentioned I'm using the Hanak tungsten bead in 3.5. I'm not going to use thread today. I'm going to use some Glow Bright floss, and this is the pink. It's number 1, and I already have some on my bodkin here. And first thing I'm going to do is just catch in a few turns just to hold the bead into place. I don't like them beads rattling around the hook while I'm trying to tie. So, and it will help me later when I'm building up my body. So I'll just take away the rat's tail at that point. Now, as you notice, there was a tail, and what it is Glow Bright, and it's number 7, and it's like a light orange colour. I've already taken a strand off, and I'm simply going to fold it in half. Fold it in half again. Before I dress it up to the hook, I'm just going to straighten the edges up so I've not got any sticking out over the sides. And then I can capture that in. Once I've got it secured, I can stretch it out so I've not got any fibres going astray. Now, I'm bringing my floss all the way back to roughly where the barb on a hook would be. And then I'm going to cut my tail about 2/8 of an inch in length, so it's just protruding slightly past the bend in the hook. Next I'm going to add my rib, and I'm using the Vineyards number 27 wire, and I already have a little bit of that off to the side here, and I'm just going to push that right into the gap of the bead. It all helps with that extra little bit of weight. Please bear in mind that this fly, when we fished it on the Dee, the river was high in coloured, and weight was really important. Weight and profile to get the fly down through the river, which was pushing through quite considerably. So I've caught my rib in there, and what I'm going to do now is just concentrate on building up a nice smooth body. Just in the background there, you might have noticed me spinning my bobbin out. That's simply to flatten the floss so that I can get it nice and flat on the body, so I can create a nice tapered body on the fly. And I'll continue to do that. If it starts to wrap up on me, I've got no qualms with stopping and just spinning it out. So I've got quite a nice carrot shape going on there. And the next thing I'm going to do is bring my rib up in the opposite direction to the way I was bringing my floss. And I've just noticed, because this is the first time I've tied on these wave hooks, this pattern should I say, and I'm getting a lot more turns than I would normally do with the Jig Superb. So already the fly is different, because on the Superb it's much smaller in the size 14, and this seems to be a lot longer. Maybe a size 16 would have been a better choice of hook, but what's done's done. Next I'm going to just finish off my floss with a couple of half hitches. Now you've got to be careful with this, it's not like thread. It can sometimes snap away if you don't give it the proper care. when you're finishing up. So it's always a bit of a relief to cast off the floss. And that's that section complete. Now before I do the next part, I'm going to just give it a little layer of resin. You can use varnish at this point, but you must remember to put the fly to the side to dry for the appropriate time before you carry on. That's the beauty of the resins. Once you've cured them off, you can immediately go back to work on the fly. And if you're an impatient man like I am, that's perfect. So this is just to seal the fly before I add my thorax, which is going to be another resin. So I've sealed that up and I'm just going to cure it off now. I hope you've all had a nice Christmas and New Year. I had a lovely break myself, and I'm looking forward to tying a lot more flies for you this year. Okay, that's not too bad. So the resin I'm going to use is the trout line. It's neon orange, and it's applied just by using your bodkin needle. Just lift the lid off it and let's see if I can show you some of that. It's very thick, very easy to use. So I'll just take a lump off with my bodkin needle and I'm just going to apply it, start working it on to the thorax of the fly. Like so. Now I always use a little bit of foam here I've got just to clean my needle off before I put it back into my working pad, and always put the lid on before I do anything else, just to stop it getting knocked over and ruining the carpet in the office. I dare say they wouldn't be too pleased with that. So I'm just curing that off now, and it just shows you how easy it is to work with this stuff. You know, I've faffed on a bit there and it's still just sat just nice for me. I'm not had to rework it at all on the needle. It's just sat in the hole perfect. Okay, once I've cured that off, I would then come in again with my Solaris or whichever UV resin you're using, or you know, if you've chosen to use varnish, that's great. I just find the resins easy to work with, to be honest. So quite a generous coating of resin this time. Gives it a really slim profile, and with that heavy bead on, it really cuts through the water column fast. And not only that, of course, because of the bright colour array that you see, it can be picked out by the grayling. And this took a lot of fish for me up on the D. I know a lot of people use sacrificial flies on the point, but I always like to have something that will also catch fish. And this certainly does that. Okay, once that's cured off, that's the fly all finished. It looks like a little sweetie, doesn't it? Okay, that's it. Thanks very much for watching. You can look forward to Graham Lumsden's choice next week. But for now, please remember to subscribe if you haven't done so. And thanks very much for watching. If you want to make them up, that's how to do it.